There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With even more exclusive content, with over 150 channels in your vehicle, including the widest, deepest variety of music, ad-free. Root for your team. Get news. Listen to whatever makes you laugh. And hear all about your favorite stars. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels filled with music and enjoy a favorite shows with SiriusXM Video. Thousands of hours of shows and performances on demand. What you love is on now.
Tonight, we're going back to the category that started it all. Of course, we're talking about car audio. We've invited 5 of the most prominent brands in car audio to educate us on the latest offerings within the segment. From application-specific kits to amplifiers to subwoofers, speakers, and even DSP, these are some of the brands that keep the thump going in the trunk. This is CMA Live presented by SiriusXM. The Essential Gear episode, part 1, starts now. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in this evening to CMA Live, presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu, and this is a category that I hold near and dear, as do so many of us who started our careers within car audio. Sure, there's been tons of expansion. You know, we've got power sports and marine and motorcycle, but there's something about good old-fashioned car audio that keeps us connected, and that's what we're here to talk about this evening. With an ongoing presentation every single day through the car audio sessions with a multitude of different brands, it was very difficult to choose 5 brands for this episode. But what we wanted to do was have these brands come on and give you a snapshot of what's going on and keep you up to date with the latest and greatest in the car audio market. Because car audio has changed a lot. Some things remain the same, but there's certainly a lot that has evolved. So if you're tuning in tonight as a dealer, we hope that you get a little bit of your learn on, but at the same time, get a taste of many different flavors that are in the car audio menu. All right, let's get the show on the road with our very first guest. He represents a brand called MSC America, who is the North American distributor for Audio-Tech Fisher products. Of course, we're talking about Helix and their president, Mr. Larry Penn. Mr. Larry.
Good day, Ben.
Good day,
I love the thump in the trunk. It's been
a
while.
Thump in the trunk. You know, I had to bring it old school. I was wondering if anybody would notice that. I'm happy that you did. I'm happy that you did. Listen, you're here tonight joining us. We're here to represent, Audio-Tech Fisher manufacturer has several different brands, but I think Helix is a great way to start the conversation this evening because it is that brand that covers a lot of different categories and recently has announced, a lot of different new products for 2022. Larry, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's going to be a real fun and exciting year. We have, between now and the end of the year, we have about 30 new products that are coming down the pipe. So we're pretty excited about that. From more in the DSP category, the amplified DSP, and then a real big push with the same engineering power and investment into a new speaker program that we're really excited about.
Very, very cool. That's a lot of different categories that you just lumped up there. Of course, we did cover these in detail in our showcase that we did earlier on the week. So if you haven't seen that, definitely go down to CMA Networks, go check that out. But a lot of new products, a lot of movement. What are some of the key features and benefits for those who are tuning in who might not have heard of the Helix brand before?
Yeah, so Helix has been known for our DSP, and we're pretty excited with our latest little tool, the P6 DSP Ultimate. And I guess this kind of rolled into our first question as well. But the P6 has been kind of a stablemate in our line for quite a while, and the new Ultimate is kind of the de facto statement of it's the ultimate thing we can do with this platform. So we're going to be releasing this in the next 60 to 90 days. It's a 6-channel DSP-based amplifier that is capable of outputting 285 watts per channel into a 2-ohm load, and then has 6 processed DSP channels out, 2 by way of a Toslink digital connection, and then 4 more RCA outputs. And that is linked into our new P2 Mark II amplifier, which is 500 watts by 2 into a 2-ohm load, and our new P1 Mark II, which is a 1500 watt monoblock. So in a little trio, probably about that wide and about that tall, you're going to have over 3,500 watts of real high-end Ultra HD sound in a compact little chassis. So we're really ramped about that. And that new P6 Ultimate uses our new ACO processor. So we've got all the important DSP tricks like our real center upmixing, all pass filters for doing phase EQ, all that kind of stuff. And our new ADEP, well, not our new, but new to the P6 Ultimate is our new ADEP circuit, which allows complete flexibility when integrating with today's factory OEM systems. So to kind of wrap that up into your second question, Ben, we are an engineering first company. And everything that this company has done in the last 30 years has been done from a product quality and sound quality perspective. With over 50% of our business in the OEM realm, some non-traditional OEMs, like we do Prevo trucks. We build a little small DSP amplifier for Prevo in Europe. But when it comes to that stuff, it's got to be ultra reliable. So we've learned over the last 30 years how to build stuff reliable. Everything is built to an ISO specification, automotive specification, which is a totally different thing than consumer electronics. So those are some of the things that make us unique, and we take that same design approach in every product we make, from DSP to amplified DSP to regular amplifiers, and now on to the speaker set. And we have some new speakers being launched. We will now have 11 different subwoofers in the K series subwoofer line, including a new 8, 10, and 12-inch shallow mount. And then, as I alluded to yesterday, you guys got to go check that out on CMA Networks. Search our channel out, and we talked about in depth all of the new products, but it's going to be real exciting come the end of the year. We have a very unique speaker bomb to drop on everybody that's kind of going to be a game changer in the speaker world. So stay tuned for that.
Very, very cool. You dropped something there. I mean, a lot of the little features and benefits were definitely referring to your DSP set of utilities. And on that note, very recent upgrade to the PC Tools version that was just released. Can you tell us a little bit more about the software update?
Yeah, those of you who have been with us for a while know that we're continually evolving our PC Tools software program, and we will receive one of our final beta test versions to put through our paces here this week, and then it will drop this month, is what I was told by Germany today. But PC Tools version 5 takes the automated tuning process to a new level. And I'm not even going to say automated tuning process. It takes the process of delivering a great sounding car in a short amount of time to an end use consumer and putting a smile on their face. And that's really our whole goal as a company, is to take the myth and the guru effect out of DSP. Because 90% of the new cars that you're buying, if it's a branded audio system and it's got a center channel, it has DSP from the factory. So today's new cars, tomorrow's used cars. So we want to be the guys that help our dealer base understand how these factory systems are being put together, what interface to use, because integration, OEM integration, is a different category than DSP. And a lot of people get those two confused. DSP is designed to do the final acoustic tuning in the car. OEM integration is getting the signal from the factory radio into the DSP. So we need to get on that. If you're a dealer, we're here to help you understand that. And
well, I think on that note, that segues really well into my next question. You know, we've been talking tonight, and we do as well on our one-on-one showcase there, about the performance of the products, you know, the specifications, the features, the benefits. But really, Larry, and you're a preacher of this. I want to give you the opportunity to speak to this. Is that the only reason that's driving your growth? Simply the specifications and what it says it'll do on paper?
Man, I wish it was that easy, Ben, because our specifications are world class. We are using some great DSP technology. We're using the latest Sigma processors from Analog Devices, and we're using Velvet Sound from AKM for our A to D and D to A converters. So we've got all that stuff, but in the world of great products, and there's 4 more people behind me today that make some really, really great products. And what separates us, or what we're trying to separate ourselves with, is a dealer support mechanism that goes beyond price and item and terms and discounts and gets into what really makes your business tick, and understanding our culture so we can understand your culture and develop a business relationship that is more likened to in other parallel industries. Like if you're a Porsche dealer, you live, breathe, and eat Porsche, and they come in there and make sure your store has all the latest tools. They make sure that your store has trained technicians, make sure your store has trained salespeople. They bring you out to test drive new models that they introduce. You know, that's really what we're all about. We're just not going to give you a box. Hey, this is our new widget, and here's the price, and how many of them do you want? We really want to become a business partner to you, and we're not after a million dealers out there. We're after dealers that understand our culture, that want to add to their business, because we're not saying we know everything about the business, but with our network all across Europe and North America, we're able to focus in a little deeper on the things that are going to grow the business.
All right. Last question for you. I think this is a great way to end this conversation. What would you say would be an ideal candidate as a dealer? Whether, there's dealers that have never done DSP, there's dealers that haven't heard of Helix, maybe never heard of MSC, don't know about OEM integration. We have all different types of dealers that listen to our show, Larry. For you, what would be the ideal candidate to become a new Helix reseller?
Well, if you're and we've had many dealers talk to us about this, where in the past, where, listen, I'm almost done in this game because it's getting too complicated, or I don't understand how to put this in, or the new cars are way beyond my level of technology, and I don't understand how to go about getting new car dealers, because what can we do to these new cars? So if you are feeling that way, but looking at a way out to become more successful in your business, that's the people that we want to talk to, because we have the right product, and we have a training program that's second to none. We just finished off this last weekend here with John Schwartz and his crew from Perfectionist in Alaska. They flew in. I'm in our classroom right now. So our classroom is part of our retail store. So we have a proof of concept retail store. So we live your life every day, and we know the struggles you're going through, and our tech support can give you that. So if these are all the things that you're looking for, where you can pick up the phone and say, dude, I've got this car I'm working on, what do I need to integrate it with, and how do I get the DSP tuned for it, and all that other stuff, we're the guys that can answer that for you. And if we don't have the answer, in our dealer network and with our engineering team in Germany, we can certainly figure that out for you. So that's kind of my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's a great story, Larry. Thank you so much for taking the time. As you can see down there, msc-america.com. If you're interested in becoming a dealer for these audio tech Fisher products, tonight we're talking about Helix, but of course they have a full range. Go ahead and reach out to Team MSC, and they'll get you all set up. Larry, brilliant. Thank you, sir, for coming in.
Thank you. Have a great night, and wish a good show to all of our fellow manufacturers out there. Have a great night.
Fantastic. Thank you, Larry.
All right.
So that was Larry Penn for over at MSC America talking about the Helix line. Now we should mention Helix, pretty complete line. We're talking amplifiers, DSP, speakers, and subwoofers, some integration products, some enclosures as well. Definitely a cool line to go check out. Our next brand that we'll be highlighting is certainly no stranger to the game, and there's not a single person who will ever watching this show who hasn't heard the term or the name Kicker, and we're happy enough to have them tonight. But not only do we have Kicker represented this evening, we've got a gentleman who I'm very proud to have on the show tonight. He is the Vice President of sales and marketing, kind of a big cheese and a big deal at Kicker, but he won't tell you that. He's too humble for it. His name is Tom Heath, and I'd love to welcome him to the studio.
Thanks a lot, Ben. Glad to be here. And you're right. I'm not going to talk about anything.
I know. If I was, I'm your hype man. I'm your hype man. I hype you up, and you can take it nice and calm.
I'm just here doing a job just like everybody else is. It's a great place to work, and I work with great people. I actually have a couple of my international guys who are sitting in my office getting ready to laugh at me when I make a mistake.
Perfect. Well, Tom, we can't thank you enough for taking the time today to be on with us. We're talking about such an important category this evening, which I know, Kicker it has such a deep emotional and passionate connection with, and that is car audio. And here's my first question for you, and this shouldn't be a surprise. Kicker has expanded, right, so much over the years since its inception to different categories. You guys do motorcycles. You have a huge marine line. You got power sports solutions. Is car audio still relevant at the Kicker camp?
Well, Ben, I would tell you this. It certainly is. It is the primary driver of our business, still today, and will continue for a very, very long time. But we are super excited about our marine and power sports offerings that we have. And that keeps getting better and better for us every single year. So car audio is what started this with Mr. Irby almost 50 years ago. We're coming up on that in 2023. And he is here every single day. Well, unless he's on vacation, which he's on vacation today. And he's here every day, listening to product, making sure it sounds right, making sure that we do the best job that we can every day, taking care of our customers. So it's a lot of fun, and we look forward to many, many more years of success.
So, sir, you don't have no idea how much that means when you say that it is your core business, and car audio is definitely something that, Kicker takes not only seriously, but will continue to take seriously. Right. But having said that, the car audio category has evolved quite a lot in the last few years. So I guess my question is, what has Kicker done to not only stay relevant, but to continue to push the envelope and continuously innovate in this category?
Well, just like the guest before me, the OEM division, for us is becoming a little bit bigger, and it gives us a lot of knowledge and insight into what's going on. And of course, the OEM manufacturers keep changing everything and make it really, really interesting for all of us to come up with products that will integrate into the cars and, keep moving forward. But I think the primary driver for us here is that, we get out in the field, we talk to, our reps, we talk to our dealers, we talk to consumers when we're in the stores visiting, and we're listening to, all those folks and trying to get some input from them on the things that they'd like to see, not only now, of course, what they're enjoying, but what they'd like to see in the future. And we take a lot of that input and we bring it back. And when we hear enough of it, we put it through our design team deal, and we start working on things, and we just keep wanting to develop more and more better things that people are going to be excited about. And of course, for us, it's all about value to the customer. Trying to get them the biggest bang for the buck. We're not trying to get rich off everybody. We just want everybody to have a lot of fun, because let's all face it, nobody needs this stuff. They just want it. It's fun. It's exciting. Let's go. Let's keep it going.
I'm going to argue there are a couple fanatical Kicker fans that might absolutely need it. There's a few, for sure.
I would say there's lots of them out there, and we are very appreciative of all of them.
Good. All right. Well, talking about being excited, can you share with us, in your opinion, a couple of the latest products that you have had the feedback from dealers that they're excited about right now?
Yeah, it's been a little while since the key product has come out. Not only the key amplifiers, but some key integration stuff. It makes it very simple for, an installer to put this product in. You put a microphone on the back of the driver's seat. It does all the magic for you. It's a simple solution that does all the time alignment and makes all the adjustments that are needed, so you can always have excellent sound. Of course, it can always be fine-tuned from there, but that's one of the cool products. We have some new power bars that just came out. We have lots and lots of things on the horizon that are completely, fully developed. We're just waiting for parts.
Oh man!
And trying to be able to get everything. Everybody knows this, but chips and all kinds of other parts are very difficult to get. And until we can do that correctly and get it out there the right way, we just have to sit and wait. But we got a lot of stuff coming, which is very exciting. Amplifiers, new subwoofers, more marine products, more motorcycle stuff, more power bars. More power sports, solutions.
So in other words, the R&D has nonstop been super busy. The scientists have been going nonstop. Now it's just a question of executing from a production logistical standpoint.
Right. Yeah, and I
All
would
right.
say that one of our biggest well, it is our biggest department here is our R&D department. We have many engineers here. They're constantly working. And like I said before, before any of this stuff goes out of the building for mass production, Mr. Irby has to sign off on it.
Very,
If it
very
doesn't
cool.
sound right to him, it's not going anywhere. If the quality's
That's
not right,
amazing.
it's not going.
Well, on that note, I want you to share a little bit of that culture, I think is the key word tonight. What are some of the key features and benefits that you're proud of putting forward when you're talking about your brand and talking to dealers about it?
Sure.
As an ongoing conversation?
Right. I would say that, like I said before, it's almost 50 years, and this started long before I got here. I've been with Kicker for 7 years. Really, truthfully, customer service is really the most important thing to Mr. Irby and the company. We live it, we breathe it, we mean it. And I'm not just talking the traditional sense where somebody has a problem and we're going to go fix it for them. We're very interested, in what they're thinking, what they want us to do, what they'd like to see us do. And, we kind of go from there. But as far as, how we proceed, it's always with the customer, the end user customer first. And then we kind of move on from there, because if we make it good for them, it will be good not only for the distributors, but the dealers, everybody. We're all looking for a win.
No, that's amazing. All right, well, let's talk about future. Let's say in a perfect world, chipsets start falling from the sky and parts start becoming available steadily. What can we expect from Kicker down, in the near future to the long-term future when it comes to car audio?
There's always going to be innovation for sure. That's one of the things that's very important to Mr. Irby and everybody here. We're always looking to drive the business as much as we can. We've got a couple of complete amplifier lines that we're waiting on, and we're very excited about. We've got more subwoofers. We have more speakers coming. It's loaded enclosures. I'm sure some people have seen the quad box that we came out with just a little over a year ago. That was a pretty exciting piece. It kind of surprised us all at how well it's actually done, but it's an awesome piece.
What I want to comment on that piece is when everybody's thinking how the customer doesn't want to sacrifice their trunk, Kicker comes out with this gargantuan beast of a box and is doing surprisingly well. So I think that's always interesting to hear.
Yep.
You see on the bottom, if you're interested in Kicker products, in Canada, you want to get a hold of Jemsen, who is their exclusive distributor. Otherwise, you can go ahead to kicker.com, get yourself some more information, and I'm sure they'll direct you to the right distributor. On that note, Tom, I can't thank you enough for taking the time today. It's not only refreshing to know that one of what I call the original brands of car audio is still not only doing well, thriving, looking towards the future, and keeping things relevant and expanding, and having people like you leading the way. So thank you very much for that.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the time, Ben. Everybody else, good luck tonight. Have fun.
All right. Have a good evening, sir.
Take care. Bye-bye.
So that was Mr. Tom Heath, the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Kicker. I want to thank him for his time to come in and give us a little bit of insight from a brand such as Kicker in the car audio segment. Moving on to our next premium brand. This is a brand that has a unique story, a really interesting lineup, and I do mean a big lineup of product. And I'm sure he's going to talk about that. This gentleman works for HKI USA, who is the importer and representative of Ground Zero Car Audio. He's the Director of Operations. I'd like to bring into the studio Mr. Jacob Brown.
Thank you, Ben.
Hey, Jacob, how are you this evening, sir?
Oh, same day, whatever day it is, but here we are.
In the lab, working, doing what you need to do. Listen, Ground Zero is a unique brand for many different reasons. I have my take on it. I know you do as well. And it's for some it's new. Let's be honest, it's kind of fresh to the market still. It's not like Kicker, who's had a legacy, like what did he say, 50-year legacy in the States. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of a new kid on the block in many ways, but it comes to play with a big menu. Let's call it a menu. What makes Ground Zero unique as a car audio brand for our listeners who might be discovering this brand for the very first time and wondering who's this guy and what is this brand all about?
So, we don't quite get to claim 50 years, but we're about halfway there. So, 25 years ago is when Ground Zero really started. It started in the US as a kind of innovator in SPL subwoofers. So we really had the opportunity to innovate, come out with new products, change the way that the industry saw certain items, develop from there. As you can see, we are an engineering firm. So, as was mentioned before, engineering for all of us here tonight is a huge thing. It's a big staple in what it is that we do. So you had hit on an interesting point. We have a gigantic product line. So when you're an international manufacturer, you really have to take certain markets into play. You have to take your strengths, your weaknesses, everything along those lines and put it aside. So when we have a product line of 400 SKUs, it's not just 400 SQ SKUs for different countries. It's not just 400 SPL SKUs for different countries. We cover really the full gambit, whether it's entry level to extreme high end, daily listener to SQ, competition level products, whether it's subwoofers, components, coaxial speakers, amplifiers to go with the full gambit, DSP and integrated amplifiers with DSP, sound damping materials. We really do cover everything that a retailer would need to be able to function under one umbrella. And it's really kind of a cool thought process to be able to, first sell your brand as the retailer. You're in my shop. And then when you really start to love a product like we have with Ground Zero, then you start to say, you hype Ground Zero, you talk about Ground Zero, the cool things that they can do. And then when you really start to find out what your customer wants, you can cover it all under one umbrella. So it's really a neat thought process to be able to say, you are a straight SQ guy. I can get you into Ground Zero, or, you're buying a system for one of your kids and she listens to a lot of hip hop. Well, we've got product that does that. Oh, you've got a BMW and you want a OEM style system. We can cover that. So it's really neat to be able to cover all of those umbrellas or all of those lines under one brand.
Absolutely. And it's a unique feature that Ground Zero has to offer. Now, we're going to talk about some product. Obviously, we're not going to be talking about every product tonight. We're going to touch on a couple of things, key things we want to touch on. I want to remind our listeners, we are doing a one-on-one session with Ground Zero, of course, where we'll dive in a little bit deeper. So please forgive, Jacob for not going too much into detail tonight, but I wanted to pick his brain a little bit. I've been hearing some buzz. The Iridium series kind of revamped. It's new. Everybody's talking about it. Tell us what's going on with the Iridium series from Ground Zero.
So what we really did is just, we kind of re-engineered a set of speakers, a set of subs, a thought process, some amplifiers. So, this is a product line that I know you guys in Canada do very well with. And I know the guys over at BB Distribution who handle Ground Zero for us really do like that product line, because it's an entry. It's a very interesting stair step into Ground Zero. So it's kind of where we start, but a lot of other, head unit brands or other lines kind of leave off. So it's that interesting transition piece into our 400 plus SKUs. So we redesigned the cones. We changed the tweeter around a little bit. We redesigned the amps and kind of rethought how we were going to execute those. And we can dive more into this on Friday, when we really dive deep into the product line. But it was definitely something that needed to happen. That's a set of speakers that traditional coax components, traditional and SPL or daily driver type subs kind of come together. We have a slim line of components and coaxes in that series. Mm-hmm. So it really just needed a facelift to be able to keep up with some technology changes that we went through and tooled and redesigned and kind of brought to life in some of our higher end products. We kind of brought it back and brought it into our entry level just to really kind of reinvent our own wheel.
I feel, if anything, from what I've seen so far, more refined. I feel, at the same, you've taken it and you've just basically refined it even that much further. We're going to jump from the Iridium line of stuff to the Hydrogen series, which is another popular one. A little bit of buzz about that as well. What makes them so special, Jacob?
The Hydrogen line to me is really fun because not only is it a series of amplifiers, a series of subwoofers, and now a new series of components that all kind of get brought together to, it's the epitome of daily listener. It's the epitome of, I want to be able to turn it up to 11, kind of. And what I mean by that is it's not, competition. It's not SPL. A lot of the series maintains musicality. Well, everything in that line maintains musicality. Our 4-channel is biased towards SQ, but we've got 1,000-watt monoblock in that series. We've got traditional full motor structure subs ranging from a 6.5 to a 15 that are musical, but provide phenomenal output. So you get the best of both worlds in that. We just released a set of components that are absolutely phenomenal to listen to, that don't require a lot of massaging to sound good. You know, it's something that you can drop into a car with a moderate amount of power to be able to get great output in a, you know, properly damped door. You know, anything that we talk about in anybody up here tonight, you know, we all talk about installation. We all talk about, you know, how things need to be done properly. And when you throw a really cool set of components into a proper install, it just, you know, everybody all of a sudden gets out of that car with a grin on their face. So that line, and then some other new products that we can kind of talk about in that hydrogen series, you know, on Friday again, when we dive in, is really it's a fun, versatile set of components, series of subs and amplifiers that kind of fit in just about anywhere. You know, you want to build an SQ system, but maybe get a little bit more bass. You can throw a hydrogen sub in there, maintain amazing musicality, but, you know, knock the mirror off the windshield. So it's really fun to play with.
Back to my thump in the trunk comment, man. That's what it's all about, right? Thump in the trunk. Okay.
A lot of
it. Okay, so we touched on Iridium, we touched on hydrogen. Now I want the Jacob Brown one-on-one personal opinion type thing. I'm a dealer, got my interest. What are a couple pieces that I should order to try so I can get a real sense of what that ground zero taste texture is all about?
Well, I'd kind of hit on it, you know, in the last one, the hydrogen subwoofer series. That is probably one of our most frequently sold series of SKUs. So dealers really love it because, again, it's that go-to sub that you can run them sealed, but they really want to be vented. But you can tune it low. You can get it to be super musical, but it's going to provide some pretty killer output. So it's not just a bass sub. It's not just a musical sub. It really fills that gap between the two. So for me, that is one of the keys. If I was a new dealer and I was trying to play with something, I would pull in one of those, whether it's, you know, an 8, a 10, a 12, anything in that series, provide it the power it's asking for, give it the box that it needs, and just let that thing rip, because it's going to be absolutely fun. If I'm looking at components, you know, again, hydrogen, super fun for that daily listener, but me personally, I'm going to say uranium. Uranium is one of the first sets of speakers we designed from the ground up, entirely custom tooling, custom everything, entirely new motor thought process for anything that Ground Zero has done before. And that's kind of the middle ground in our SQ series of speakers. In our good, better, best, that is our better when it comes to SQ. And that's not counting, you know, the Uber Reference Ultra, which, you know, again, we can talk about later if you want. So the uranium components for me are incredibly fun because it's a phenomenal sounding set of speakers. There are some cool SKUs in there. So, you know, we've got a 55 millimeter dome mid, and dome mids are one of those weird love them or hate them. They're a goofy thing that if you want to play with something and have fun with it, you can do it in the uranium line. And so that set of components there is an easy go-to for me.
What about amplifier?
You know, I won't lie, that's a hard one. We have a lot of phenomenal amplifiers. I would say probably the hydrogen amplifiers, so the hydrogen mini series, 4-channel, 2-channel, 2 monos, and a 5-channel. That is a phenomenal sounding set of amplifiers. But if what you're looking for is a little bit more power, I really like the radioactive series of amps. So the 2HD and the 4HD are phenomenal power, relatively small footprint, great sound quality for an efficient Class D amp. So, you know, it just depends on really which kind of end of that spectrum you want to go. But
those are all signature sounds, signature feel, Ground Zero pieces.
You know, I mean, when you take a 4HD out of the box and you start looking around it, you get a real good idea of what Ground Zero is, who we are.
All right. I'm going to leave you with one last question, and this will round out our entire discussion tonight. Why do you feel dealers need to discover Ground Zero right now in the car audio segment?
For me, it's one of those things that, as you had mentioned very early on in our conversation, we're the new kid on campus, but we've been around. So it's not that this is a new product line. It's not that we are, you know, just trying to get our feet wet in car audio. You know, this is what we've been doing for 25 years. So if what you're looking for is to be the shop that gets to do exactly like I had explained earlier, which is sell yourself, sell a brand that you love, and cover everybody in that brand, along with being able to cover all of your bases and doing something different than the guy down the street or the guy in the next city. That's really, for me, where Ground Zero comes into play. You get to fall in love with the product. You get to get excited about the product. And we provide a product that's worth getting excited about. So again, whether it's, I specialize in BMWs, but I get that occasional customer that comes in that wants something different. I can offer that both of those customers something. So as a retailer, I really love the concept, or I would really love the concept of being able to do something different than what everybody else is doing with a product line that's easy to fall in love with,
while covering all your bases, like with authority. Gotcha.
with authority and
authority,
and put it up to 11 with several different product lines.
If you're a Canadian dealer tuning in, you're interested in some Ground Zero product, there's the company you want to get a hold of. BB Distribution is their exclusive Canadian distributor. And Jacob, I can't thank you enough for coming in today and giving us some insight about Ground Zero. I'll see you on Friday, buddy.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
Take care. All right. That was another type of brand that some may have heard of and some may have. Ground Zero. Really cool product that, as you can see, between the hydrogen and iridium, all scientific type names for all their series. Go in there, check it out, and discover it for yourself. Our next brand, one that I really do fancy. Got a lot of history. This brand that's been around for a long time, but they've been on recently. They've kind of reintroduced themselves into the Canadian market as well, and under the leadership of this handsome fellow, who happens to be the president of Memphis Audio, has really had a total revitalized look and feel to everything they do. And I think the dealers notice that as well. And we're going to talk about it tonight. Let's get Nick LaMonaco into the studio. Yes, before you say anything, yes, you're a handsome man. That's what I did say on live broadcast.
I noticed that and I appreciate it. I'm only second on this broadcast to you, Ben. That's it.
Oh God, please. Memphis, we've talked about it so many times, Nick. It's got such a rich history just as a company doing business, for 100 years or so. And, since it's been in your hands and under your leadership, it's had such a revamp as far as the look, the feel, the design of certain things. And you've taken some risky moves, as we've discussed, and some of them have definitely paid off. And I mentioned back in Canada in a big way. I want to give you an opportunity to talk about that because it's been about a year now since its return into the Canadian market with automobility.
Yeah, well, we've had some other brands talk today, and I have this chain because we are the oldest brand that's been on CMA, I believe. So that's why I have the chain. It was actually given to me by, me, but still, we're the oldest brand. Here we started doing audio in '65, been in aftermarket auto since 1919. So, we've been doing this forever. And so it's been good to get back in Canada with a great distributor. Automob's been doing a great job getting our product out there. Their sales guys are getting out there. They're, during the COVID time, we're pounding our phone saying, where's the product? Where's the product? Where's the product? So it's been going great because, we've been owned by the same people for 100 years. We're the same company. We're 103 years old. And so we've really ramped things up in the last 6 or 7 years, but they're going extremely well in Canada. Excited to be back.
Amazing. So let's get into some goodies, man. Let's talk about technology. You've got a lot on the go. I know we're going to cover that as well, but what are some of the latest technological innovations when it comes to Memphis car audio?
Well, going back in our history, we've had a lot of different engineering takes on our product. So we had a variety of engineers from different countries, but in the last 6-7 years, our engineering has been 100% US based and 100% US designed. So, a few of the things that have come out that I talk about them multiple times on shows here that is kind of, I don't know if it's fallen by the wayside, but during COVID, everyone needed a subwoofer and they didn't really care about the features of the sub. They're like, oh, just give me whatever sub I can get. So, but one thing that we've brought to the market that is still the only one in the market is our selectable voice coil technology. And that's in virtually every woofer over 300 watts, including our best-selling PR line. So what that means is, and I'll zoom in here. This is, that's our new marine woofer, and I'm getting some there. But if you see there, that's a selectable voice coil. So this woofer can be 2 or 4 ohm. So 100% dead nuts, 2 ohm or 4 ohm. So you only have to stock 1 SKU per size, and that's huge. That's huge for a million different reasons. Number one, the tech doesn't have to yell at the salesman for selling the wrong woofer. Oh, you sold him DVCs when we needed single coils. So he has the wrong amp.
That's never happened before, Nick. Never happened.
It's never happened before.
Yep.
But from an inventory standpoint, as an owner or a purchasing manager, from our distributor down to our dealers, you only have to stock 1 SKU. You only have to stock 110, 112, 115, 18. You only have to stock 1 SKU. That's huge. In addition to that, if you have a customer that only has enough money for 112 at the time, you don't have to worry about it. You're like, okay, we'll buy the bigger amp and 1 sub. You can't afford the other sub right now. Well, later you can come back the other sub, and we can swap.
Click. Put it to 4 ohm, back to 2 ohm mono. You're done.
Absolutely, get a bigger box, and you're ready to go with two woofers. So that's been super huge. And at Memphis, we like to light things up. So if you notice on our marine product, and this is a marine product, but I have this woofer in my car personally, we're adding LEDs to virtually everything. So if you can see there, that's a marine woofer with the illuminated Memphis logo in the middle.
Oh, the logo illuminates?
Yeah, it's hard to tell with my lighting. I had to get my face looking beautiful, but that is illuminated.
That's crazy. Oh, I see it now. Now I see. Yeah.
All right, yeah. So that's one of our world famous Mojo Minis.
Very cool.
So very, very beautiful woofer, and
quite beefy.
Adding LEDs to everything. In addition to that, we've entered the DSP game. So we heard some other guys talking about DSP on this live CMA live, but we've entered the DSP game. So this is our new DSP. As you know, everyone at Memphis is incredibly handsome, and we might make our product be handsome as well. So this is our DSP amplifier. Our DSP processor looks exactly like our VIV amplifier. So mount that, looks exactly the same. If you lit this up, it's got LEDs that fire out the side down here to light everything up.
I'm going to say that's the first DSP I've ever seen with LEDs. I'm just going to say that. I don't believe there's another one.
Well, everyone at Memphis will be happy to hear that, because I was the one who said you had to have LEDs in there. So why do we have LEDs? Well, it's got LED output, so you can have your whole trunk match the lighting on your amplifier and your DSP processor. I mean, who doesn't like LEDs, right? I mean,
beautiful.
It's been going since Fast and the Furious, and it's back. You know, it's much easier.
I'm going to correct you on that, man. Fast and Furious was still neon, man.
Well, yeah, I guess
it was still neon.
The colored lights, yes. I wish it was LEDs. The colored lights.
Yes, you're right.
But,
you're right.
In the true Memphis fashion, our DSP is the easiest to use on the market, and I'll throw that out there against anyone. So if you don't know DSP, if you're not a DSP guy, if you've not messed with DSP, or girl, if you've not messed with DSP, ours is the easiest to use. So our app is designed 100% for the phone and tablet. It's not just a computer app that's been shrunk down onto a screen. It's super easy to use. I'm not a DSP person at all. I was able to set this DSP up in my car in 15 minutes and have it working. That's how easy it is. Okay. I was already working on a tune. There's a bunch of guys in our office that are not DSP guys. We've never had a DSP, but this is designed from the ground up to be easy to use for anyone.
I'm looking forward to diving into that definitely deeper during our session together there, Nick. Let's talk about Memphis as a brand. You know, dealers know Memphis. I want to give you an opportunity to kind of update dealers, to tell them about some of the unique qualities that really separate Memphis in the category.
Well, the biggest thing I think that separates Memphis from the competition is, you know, we've been in this game for a long time. We're not a brand that's been bought and sold by a lot of different people. We've the same guys making audio since we were under -4 tracks way back when, well before I was around and you were around. And so we're from a brand, an American brand, a North American brand, to connect us in Canada, because we're not different. We're all in the same area. You know, we're focused on breadth of product. So we have everything from our power sports stuff that we've talked about many times, you and I, the depth of our power sports and our marine product. Now we have a lot of OEM products with our DSP and direct fit applications for subwoofers and speakers. But then we still have probably the widest line of regular car product as well. We're the first, and I don't know if anyone's copied it, we're the first to have a lifetime warranty coaxial speaker. And it's been that way for as long as I've known. So really engineered from the ground up, 100% by us. There's no one out there that has the width of product that we do. I mean, we have different competitors. When we talk about our different competitive brands, we don't have one that competes with us. We have this competitor here. We have this competitor here. We have this competitor here. For us, our focus is trying to get as many different products that fit in anything that works, really, that has a battery. We're down.
Very, very cool. Did we cover some new gear already between the DSP and the Marine? Is there anything else you want to touch on as far as new gear is concerned?
Well, I mean, I'll talk about a couple new amplifier lines.
Yeah, let's do that.
Literally just launched. So our entry level, which is still an awesome amplifier, are Street Edge amplifiers. This amplifier launched just a little bit ago at a show, Knowledge Fest, Indianapolis. So this is actually an amplifier that we started internationally that did so well that we brought it into North America, and then this is the second rev of it. So only a couple of models right now. We have a 300 by 4 channel, a 500 and an 800 watt mono block, the Street Edge amplifier. So the power is awesome. They look good. Really solid lineup to get those entry level customers just want a lot of power and not worried about a lot of bling. And then just recently introduced the next level up from Street Edge is our Street Reference, or SR amplifiers. So this has been a tried and true amplifier line for us. This is a full line from 250 watts to 1200 watts mono, 4 channel and 2 channel. So this is a full lineup. And going back to the LED comment, this has 100% more LEDs than the previous version. So the previous version only had 1 strip of LEDs, and now we have 2.
2 strips.
Yeah. And going back to the Fast and Furious days, I mean, you know, when you had all those stickers on the side of your car that added like 15 to 25 horse,
of course it is
10%. 10%
more jam. More
bump in the trunk. Don't get me wrong. Yes. More bump in the trunk with 2 LEDs.
Beautiful. Love it. All right. So 2 new line of amplifiers.
Yeah, and the Marine amplifier the Marine woofer I showed you, that Mojo Mini. This is actually, it was announced, but it's going to be shipping in the next couple of weeks. So it is. Very, very cool. It's already been launched, but this is a Marine Mojo Mini.
It's a pretty badass Marine sub for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm going to leave you with one last question. If you could quickly answer this one for us, Nick. You know, if I'm interested in becoming a Memphis dealer, I've seen some of the goodies you've shown. What would be 1 or 2 and maybe even 3 products that you absolutely would recommend for people to really get a taste of what Memphis is all about?
Well, the number one thing that every dealer that we have really that supports Memphis and that makes a lot of money with Memphis is the PR line. So it's the most versatile line of speakers, versatile line of subs. We go from 6.5 to 15, again, all with those selectable voice coils. The speaker line goes from 2 3/4 plate mount speaker up to 6x9 3-way and a 4x10 with a grill. So everyone needs a 4x10 here and there and everything between. And then the amplifier line is very versatile. Our PR1000, if you've been a Memphis dealer for a while, you know that's one of our bread and butter SKUs. You've sold 1 million PR1000s if you're a Memphis dealer. So the PR line is the best really in the market. And as I mentioned kind of earlier, the full range speakers have a lifetime warranty if the dealers install it. So
nice incentive.
That's yeah. And we're talking right around $100 a retail 6.5. That's like an everyday SKU from a soccer mom to a kid that's putting 215s in the trunk. It's a speaker that works for them with a lifetime warranty if it's installed. So that's how we stand behind that product. And then honestly, the higher end product, the super engineered product, the VIV stuff. So we've got some of the best sounding speakers on the market right now. We've talked about VIV in the past, but our VIV speakers completely brand new for 2022. Our VIV amplifiers sound incredible, and then our VIV DSP. So we cover everything from super high-end DSP sounds amazing down to the entry-level SE amplifiers that give you power for that guy's first system.
Very, very good. Diverse, concise, and tons of history, heritage. And I have to say that lifetime warranty on that coaxial, pretty nifty incentive. Nick, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Of course, if you're in Canada and you're interested in becoming a Memphis dealer, make sure you get a hold of Auto Mobility. Otherwise, get a hold of Nick and his team over at Memphis Audio. Thanks a lot, Nick. You have a good night.
All right. Thanks, Ben.
Take care, brother. All right, we got one final brand, another legacy brand in the house joining us to close out the night. MTX from MyTech, been bumping the Trump for many a decade. Tonight we have their sales and marketing director, Rico Felice, so we can talk a little MTX when it comes to car audio. Let's go. Rico, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Hey, we're talking car audio. You see, I'm in a great mood because, like I said, this is one category. Not that I'm not, super excited when we're talking about power sports or bike or anything else, but like I said, a lot of us started in car audio, so it means a little bit more. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. This is where a lot of us cut our teeth, and
100%, 100%.
It's what got the bug in the blood, and haven't let go since.
Exactly.
Well, you get bit by the car audio bug, and it gets in your blood. I mean,
and here we are.
You get base infected, so to speak.
Absolutely. So. Let's cut to the point. MTX, you guys have expanded. We've talked a lot, and it's right in the images behind you. I mean, you guys are killing it in the power sports category as well. And although you've expanded to all this, is car audio still a thing with MTX? I want to hear from the horse's mouth.
Short answer, yes, absolutely. As you alluded, we've had great success in the power sports market. It has been a very fast moving segment for us. But when it comes to car audio is our roots. That's where we started. That's what really started the brand in the beginning. So absolutely, we are still in car audio. We are still expanding on car audio. Especially when you talk about MTX, you can't not think about Lloyd and obviously John Ivey. The brand and car audio is in their blood. They bleed MTX, and they will not let the car audio segment of this company just fade into the darkness. John has been very passionate over the last couple of years. He's kind of made it his mission statement that he will be bringing MTX back to the heyday, back to its glory days of quality, of product selection, and everything. But as you know, when you kind of are starting to increase the RPMs of the development engine, it still takes some time to get stuff to market. And as with any new line or new products, it often takes you 18, 24 months to really get that development process done.
Especially in this climate right now.
Yeah. I mean, obviously as Larry and some of the others have alluded to, part availability, manufacturing capability and things of this nature obviously don't help the situation. But we've certainly, with the whole COVID thing, we've certainly saw a resurgence in car audio. People sitting around had plenty of time to look at their car because they weren't going anywhere. So naturally, they're going to say, I think it's time to upgrade the system. So we're obviously going to continue to capitalize that. We've got expansion of our sales force out there in the market. We've added on a whole host of new sales reps to cover the territories. Obviously, we've got the guys up north with you guys, doing a killer job for us. But we're definitely getting into the marketplace. We're adding on dealers daily in all segments of the market. So we are absolutely seeing a renewed interest by a lot of people into the MTX brand. So obviously we have to capitalize that and continue moving forward.
I'll tell you, I'm going to put a little bit of spin on this from what I see. There are a lot of legacy brands out there, and some of them have, I'm going to say, have kind of fallen off or kind of veered many different directions or just really not even present anymore. MTX is not one of those brands. MTX has been very busy. It's just the focus has been directed to another category, which obviously you guys have found success in. So really my job is kind of pick your brain and squeeze out of you. Car audio has evolved. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on, what is the next moves and how is MTX approaching this now?
So obviously, vehicle technology, it's gotten trickier. It's gotten more difficult to integrate. Obviously, a lot of companies that we've already talked about tonight, they're moving in the direction of DSP, vehicle integration. Some do it very well. One of the things that we're trying to do, and to live up to John's vision of rebuilding the brand to, again, its glory days, we're looking to invest quite heavily in both technology and personnel. Some of the things that we haven't done as much as we have in the past is on the development side. So we're looking to add more engineering personnel internally, both from the acoustic as well as the electrical engineering. We're trying to expand our crew faster, if you will, so we can speed up, have more bandwidth on the development process for all the ideas and all of the developing products that we have on our list. Obviously, it takes people to make things happen. So that's one of the biggest things that we're doing. John himself is personally involved in the development of the next generation of car audio products. So he is playing a huge role in looking at the products, trying to determine which ones make the most sense, and help guide us with his visions of what he sees the future to be, especially since he's got his finger on the pulse of the industry, obviously being CTA chair for a couple of years, and really getting in and understanding that whole the automotive market and so forth. So he is definitely helping us a lot. And then obviously we're just looking forward. We're playing a long game. It's like we could potentially throw out a couple quick solutions, but ultimately you're still going to have to come up with something. So we are looking at the long game. We're not going to short sell our customers by trying to bring a bunch of quick, inexpensive things to market to try and fill a void that may be there, that they're going to look at us in a couple of years and go, okay, well, what's next? We want something that's going to last. We want something that they're going to want to own for years, ideally pass down to their kids. We've got customers out there from 20 years ago that still have their amplifiers. They've passed it on to their kids. Their kids are running it in their cars, and we want to continue that potential legacy for the next generation. So
very, very cool. Well, let's circle back now. I don't want people to think that there's no product. I mean, there's product. I just wanted to hear the vision and give an opportunity for MTX to share with us, a little bit of where the plans are and where they're going. But if we are to talk some of the current product available, what are a couple of the key products that dealers need to know about?
Well, so far this year, obviously we have some things in the pipeline for later, but so far this year, we just introduced our SLH series of subwoofer enclosures. There was a bit of a void in the marketplace when it came to enclosures. Obviously, people being able to get boxes to put woofers in. So we just introduced that, and they've been received very well in the marketplace. Other products that we've got in our Terminator party packs, which is basically a loaded subwoofer enclosure and amplifier combination, do extremely well. It's a great single box solution where a dealer can sell it out. It's affordable to most customers. It allows you to get the thump in your trunk very quickly, very easily, and they're relatively bulletproof. Our return rate on these products are extremely low, in the tenths of a percent. So the beautiful thing is they sell them, and obviously, we always have to deal with customer abuse, but short of something like that happening, we don't see this stuff come back. So, and then obviously, along with that, Jackhammer series amplifiers have become very popular. Probably one of our best-selling lines of amplifiers in the last 5-10 years. And then ultimately, we've also got Terminator speakers. So the Terminator lineup of speakers is nice. It's a great OEM upgrade. Looking for most customers that blow a speaker, they just want better overall sound. They can basically take that speaker, drop it in the factory location, get improved sound while still potentially using the factory audio power source, or they can always upgrade and get better overall output by adding an amplifier. So there's a lot of cool things that we've got right now that dealers are loving and just buying off the shelf as quick as they can.
Yeah, that's great to hear, and we know that to be true from our friends at Trends Electronics, of course. When dealing with MTX, the modern 2022 version of MTX, a lot of us older school guys obviously recognize from the brand before. Some new customers are learning about MTX for the first time. What are some of the key features and benefits when it comes to MTX as a brand?
Probably one of the biggest things that we strive to put into every product, especially in the car audio world, is that in-vehicle performance. It's one thing to build a speaker, build a woofer, build an amplifier that looks pretty on a soundboard or sounds loud and sounds good on a soundboard. But one of the biggest challenges is how do you make this thing sound good in a car? We all know that the car environment is the worst possible situation that you can put audio in and ultimately try and make it sound good, which is why most everybody says, oh, well, I need a DSP processor because my sound is down there and I need it up here where my ears are, type of thing. Well, we try to engineer, develop, and listen to our products in the real world environment to ensure that they sound as best they possibly can when you're going to put it in the factory location. On top of that, as I mentioned, most of our products have a fairly bulletproof design. The amplifier return rate is extremely, almost zero. Speaker return rate outside of just typical abuse is almost zero. So we pride ourselves on not only building good sounding products, but obviously quality products that are going to last through use, through abuse to some degree, and they're going to outlive, hopefully, the customers or even the customers' cars in most cases. And then obviously just the versatility of where you can use the products. Obviously, yes, we have a power sports line. Yes, we have a marine line, but that doesn't mean that those products are limited to those categories. We've got a lot of dealers that are utilizing, for example, our Mud series, our small compact power sports amplifiers in vehicles where they just don't have space, but they want something that's energy efficient. It's not going to pull a lot of current, but it produces good power. It doesn't take up a lot of space, and it's simple to wire in. So we see a lot of crossover, both in, obviously, from the power sports market to car and car to power sports in a lot of cases.
Very, very good. This is the very last question for you and the last question of the show, and I want to pick your brain personally, Rico. If you were in charge of everything, where would you like to see? Yeah, I know. I'm switching it up on you. Get ready. Where would you like to see the MTX brand go in the car audio segment?
Wow, that wasn't on the list.
No, I do that sometimes.
Oh, man.
or at least give us a glimpse.
Yeah, simple enough. The plan is, we do have some new stuff coming, like I said, down the pipeline right now that we're hoping to introduce at SEMA. We are working on some new woofers, some new amplifiers, and we've got, I don't know how to say it. We've got some things that we're looking at doing, which is, simple put, challenges in manufacturing today and getting products and getting parts has been difficult for pretty much everybody on this broadcast tonight.
Absolutely.
You look at it's like, as you said, DSP chips, microchips, you name it. It's hard to get the parts. When you get the parts, then it's difficult to get the parts from there to here and all that stuff. So one of the things that has been an idea that we've been playing around with for the last several years is looking at the feasibility of employing more Americans.
I like what I hear there. I'm not.
Now, I can't say for a fact, but let's just say that, obviously with all the challenges that we're seeing today overseas, it seems that it makes more sense that you take control. When I was in the military, I had a chief master sergeant. He always used to tell me, it's like, don't be a dinosaur, control your own destiny. So if you take control of your own destiny, then you are in control of the product you produce, the quality of the products, what you produce, how it goes out, when it comes to market, and things of this nature. So there's a lot of elements that we are looking at, and we're probably closer than ever with the costing and availability and things.
If it makes sense.
If it makes sense.
If it makes sense.
To potentially be doing some things back here.
I'm going to let you stop there. You don't need to tell me more. I love what I hear there. I best wishes. We hope that can go well. That means a lot of things for a lot of people.
So do we. And I think it's going to be a very big, if it comes to pass, I think it's going to be a very, very big event.
If you want to stay in touch, guys, with what MTX is doing, mtx.com is the website for our Canadian dealers tuning in. You're going to want to reach out to Trends Electronics. They are the exclusive distributor for MTX products in Canada. On that note, Mr. Felice, thank you very much for joining us this evening. And we'll be touching base soon when we do our one-on-one and learn more and in depth about MTX audio. Take care now.
You too. Thank you, Ben.
Well, everybody, if you've hung with me this long, I hope you guys got a treat of, or at least a glimpse of, the diversity that exists within the car audio segment. Many different brands that we brought to present tonight, all with very interesting product. It's really up to you to decide what works best for you. But at the very least, pay close attention. Hope you took some notes and reach out to these brands. They're more than happy to at least give you the information that you need to make the right decisions. Okay, on that note, of course, I want to thank all our guests for appearing tonight and taking the time. Representatives from Kicker, from Memphis, from Ground Zero, MTX, and of course, Helix. But if you're into the car audio thing, obviously we're in the middle of our car audio sessions. Each and every day, we're featuring another brand one-on-one, as mentioned throughout the show tonight. Continue tuning in to CMA Networks right through till Friday, May 27th for the first grouping of car audio brands for our car audio sessions. Now, if you haven't already, I want to encourage you to go to our CMAnetworks.com website, fully revamped, hundreds of videos to choose from. You can search for them through our advanced search options, through category, by brand, or even by trainers. All the trainers this evening have their own profile, and you can check out all the videos and training videos that we've done together thus far. That's it. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this CMA Live presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Have a good evening, everyone. Until next time, we connect.
Stop it. Yo, roll it down. I am.
You don't need a car to listen to SiriusXM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on SiriusXM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?